Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM21 Career Mode. We're on episode 64, and it's our first ever Grand Tour as a team. The Giro d'Italia, stage number 1. Basically a prologue to start us off with a little over 8 kilometers in length. Martin Guerrero, plus 2 race day condition, giving him a 79 on his prologue. I set off just a little bit too weak initially. It should have been an 87, but you never know until after they set off. And of course, I was looking at you and not where I needed to look here. So we're going to have to push a little bit harder with Martin Guerrero to pick up a little bit of time. And that's okay. You do get to push in 88 momentarily. He's only 4 seconds down at the first time check. Martin Guerrero looks poised for a really, really good time on this one. Of course, I have 3 leaders present, so I could technically go with any of them depending on if somebody has a monumental collapse at some point, as Martin Guerrero just 8 seconds off the pace. Teammate Riabovis currently sits in 2nd place, so really good time from those 2 guys to start us off. Karaman, Berlikov, the other 2 team leaders, will focus on them and not the other riders. And Karaman sets off 78 on his prologue, 78 time trial as well. So he's got a 78 lockdown today. Resistance in a decent state at a 72. That's one weakness for him still, but of course he's got that good mountain rating, so he could be a leader here if Berlikov stumbles enough on some sort of given day. Just 7 seconds shy, 9th place. Laporte, McNulty to the top of the standings now, and Karaman's going to push to the finish line just 12 seconds down, 1 second ahead of Martin Guerrero. Riabovis still our best, still in the top 10, but all 3 of those guys in contention. You can see Jack Haig has already crossed the line. He is 18th. That's one we got to watch out for. Most of the team leaders have not gone yet. McNulty, great climber. Kamna, great climber. We'll have to watch out for them in the stages to come. Excellent race day condition for Berlikov. He's got a plus 3. That is a massive boost. 76 time trial. That gives him a 72 prologue. He's a terrible prologuer, which is the bulk of the rating. Anything under 5K is 100% prologue in this game. 20K is 100% time trial. In between is a percentage breakdown depending. So at 8K, it's mostly prologue rating. Vast majority. So that gives him about a 73, maybe, if that. So it's better than it would have been. But he's definitely going to lose probably 30 seconds, I'd say, here. 30 seconds is easy to make up. We're going to have 2 expected week days. This is one of them. And only losing 30 seconds on one of your 2 expected weekdays could be a lot worse. Could be a lot worse. Push for the end, and 29 seconds. So 1 second better than we expected. Karaman, only 14 seconds ahead of that. Martin Guerrero, only 14 seconds ahead of that. Riabovis is barely even in the top 20 right now. And he had an 80 prologue rating and timed things well. So a lot of guys were just flying out there. Ghana's going to get the first jersey. Here's what to expect on the Giro this year. So stage 1, 8.3 kilometers. Stage 2 was a sprint stage, as was stage 3. Stage 4, team time trial, 30 kilometers in length. That's what's up next. Stage 5 on the flat again. Finally, we start climbing on stage 6, just a punchy one, and I would expect that's still going to be a large bunch finish. Stage 7, first mountain stage, though that's closer to a hill stage. How big is the climb, though? 17K, 4%. Not that bad, but it'll catch out some riders. Stage 8 looks worse than stage 7, but it's punchy. 9 is flat. 10 is a short punchy finish. 11 flat. 12 punchy. Not much to decide this thing other than this team time trial and 1 moderate climb through well over halfway through this race. 13 is flat. 14 is finally where this field is going to greatly divide and the leaders are going to emerge. That's a long ways, 2/3 of the way into the race before that's going to happen. 15 is punchy, but that's going to be down to the climbers. Guaranteed. 16. That's punchy? Okay, sure. If you say so. 17. down to the climbers for sure. 18, flat. 19, again to the climbers. 20. So it all picks up really beginning on stage 14. 21, individual time trial. 30K. Berlikov is going to lose a ton of time on a stage like that. But with the big climb stages along the way, it's hard to see that this isn't going to come down to that final week. And we'll really see what happens. Our first rider to hit a fitness peak, and he has just hit it, is Karaman. So we'll have Karaman on these early stages. We'll have him for this time trial, which is important as it's a team time trial. So this will help Berlikov. This will help Martin Guerrero. This will help Karaman. So first one to hit that fitness peak, Ria Bovis, not far from his, but it's going to be a while before others trigger their fitness peaks. And outside of Gonzalez Albiol, everybody else is in good fitness. And you can see Gonzalez Albiol is only 2% away. So give him another couple of days and he'll be at 90% plus, which means we'll have good team support throughout. Rivera's at 89%, so he actually just climbed above that stage as well. Let's see how we do in stage number 4. All right, team looks pretty dang good. I have 2 weak time trialists, and I have one weaker entity in Berlikov that we got to make sure was still there. So it looks like I'll have about 6 guys to take us to the end. Ria Bovis, 79 time trial. This is 100% time trial rating. So there's your first guy. Maida takes over. He's got a 77 today. Look at the race day conditions. We have a single 0, and everybody else has a positive race day condition, even though it's raining. Berlikov is that 6th man. He's only a 73 on the time trial. We've got him set to a very low time standard. We're pushing at an 84. That's going to be asking a lot to try to keep up with that. Igashin, one of the weak ones, but I have him pushing much harder. He's pushing an 89 when it's his turn. I'm going to do the same with Rivera, who's the other weak man. So they're going to push a lot harder, but they're going to take short turns. I don't expect them to stick around terribly long. We'll have to keep an eye on energy consumption. Igashin and Rivera are the 2 that are struggling to keep with this pace. So yes, everybody else is doing good in terms of energy consumption in the yellow. Gonzalez Albiol, a 75, not great, but certainly not bad. Mark Guerrero, 82 today, so he'll be one guy we rely heavily on. Karaman, a 78 today, so those guys should be putting in some really good efforts for us on the front. Here comes Rivera for his quick turn. He's just a 64. I'm actually going to push him maybe even to a 90. He doesn't need to give us very many turns. We've already gone through 10K. He's given us a 1 quick turn is all. Okay, Ria Bovis. We were 15th, 29 seconds down at the first time check, but you can lose a ton of time at the end if you are not going hard enough. From the looks of it, though, I think we can get away with pushing just a little bit harder for everyone. We're going to take all our 84s, and we're going to push a hair harder. We're going to push 85 now. Pull it up by 1. There you go. Rivera, we've already pushed to a 90. I want Igashin to also push to a 90. That's going to wear them out a little bit faster, but we'll see how we do with that. We've got to make sure Berlikov, we really need to keep an eye on him, especially in the third phase as we get down to fewer guys, as Igashin and Rivera get left behind. We got to make sure Berlikov does not get too worn out, that he can keep up. Martin Guerrero, okay. Good, strong lead out here. I think once those 2 start to fade, Berlikov's going to just sit on the back. See, we're already catching up to a couple guys ahead of us. 18th, 29 seconds down is that current time. That is not good. That is not a good time. Okay, Rivera is about to get dropped. Has not. He did his turn, and it wore him out. He is going to get dropped now, though. Rivera, you're done. Just sit on the back. Okay, Ria Bovis finishes another turn. And we are up much higher up the order now. 9th place, 52 seconds. We did not lose as much time through there. Okay, little climb up to the bridge. Berlikov. This is going to be Berlikov's final turn, I believe. Rivera's still hanging on, but he is going to fade very, very soon. That was Igashin's final turn. Wait for Rivera to drop before I put him to the back. There you go. Now he can just sit on. It's 4.8K. Oh, dang. Let's make this happen. We're going to push to an 88 the rest of the way. Martin Guerrero. Okay, Burlikov's going to struggle to keep up with this. He's the one we got to watch. Rivera's about to get dropped. But he's at the back. That's where he needs to be. And Igashin is sitting on now, right? Did I set Igashin to sit on? I did. 1.4K. Survivors. We're going to push to a 93 to finish this thing. 94. Finish this thing off. $99. Attack the line. And we move all the way up to 5th place. Okay, 5th place. I feel like we could have gone harder initially. 30K time trial and not necessarily great time trialist overall. And had to be really careful of Burlikov. I was maybe slightly too cautious. But we moved way, way up the order as time went on. And that was good. 50 seconds down, 5th place. You could see, I mean, we pick up a good minute over lots and lots of teams. But I think I probably could have gotten another 20 seconds, 30 seconds out of us. We weren't strong enough to win, especially with riding for Burlikov. But I think I probably could have gotten 20, 30 seconds out of that. But you never know, until you get out there, what the team's capable of. And Burlikov could have gone harder for longer. I think we probably could have sustained an 86, 87 throughout that instead of an 84. Ineos puts up a top time. That's going to be difficult because we lose a minute. We've got some work to do. But we're a Continental Pro team. We're not the favorite here. And this is going to put us on the back foot slightly as we do approach the climbs. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. They'll take us a little more lightly when we get there as a result. And we haven't lost substantial time. We've lost time. Ghana continues to lead and has extended it. The Plus has actually moved up. Moscan, Ineos all over the top 10 right now. We are out of the top 50 entirely. And we're going to stay out of the top 50 entirely, I would assume, until we hit about stage 14. While that's not good, that's going to make our job easy for the next couple weeks. For a team of balanced climbers such as us, this stage hasn't been that hard, but it has split the field. The field is down to 81 in the Peloton. A single rider left off the front from the break. He's about to be caught, and we approach the final set of climbs. Now, the hard part of the stage is already behind us. I mean, there was 3 semi-challenging climbs that were either just crazy steep or the length of the climbs. We covered quite a bit of elevation change, but the rest of the way is pretty simple now with 82 in the Peloton pushing for the final bit. This is the last categorized climb of the day, and it's time that we make sure we're not going anywhere, so we'll go 85 type effort to make sure we're not going backwards. We still have fatigue. Maida is quite tired. Maida is going to get dropped. He was just about dropped right at the end of things and latched on just barely with the group and has only recovered slightly since then because the pace has remained quite high. So that means quite a few of these 82 riders still have a good chance of getting dropped in the kilometers to come. Martin Guerrero and his climbing is actually been struggling a little bit. I mean, we're going 85 and he is going backwards. Just 2K, but it's steep, 10.7%. Maida, first one to get dropped. You can see this whole back group. They're just not going fast enough. Martin Guerrero, I think, is going to get dropped here. And sure enough, he has, at least at the moment. He's going to have to step it up to regain contact with that front group. He's got plenty of energy. He's just not that great of a climber. But it's back together. That's 55 now in the front group. Martin Guerrero with a -2. That's not helping him. Berlikov with a -1. It's not helping him. But we are in okay shape. Okay, he's back in position. We have 69 riders with 31K to go. I think this is time to maybe get something going. Let's look at the profile of what's left. Yeah, we're not going to do a whole lot of damage on that last climb. I think it's time that we start to control the field a little bit and improve our overall position. Obviously, this will get us back into the top 50 with that many riders getting dropped, but I feel like we could just do a little bit more. Rivera, Gonzalez-Albiol. I mean, Gonzalez-Albiol is going to have to catch up. Rivera will lead things out. We'll push him forward, and then let's set this up. Igashin, Riabovis, Martin Guerrero, Karaman, and Berlikov. Okay, Gel and Gel. And hopefully we'll still have some firepower left. Looks like there's actually a move here from some of the punchers trying to do something at this stage. And this is where I'm just hoping to see the Peloton shrink. I'm not thinking about necessarily winning the stage or anything like that, but just eliminate a few riders. Okay, Gonzalez-Albiol has not made it back up here. In fact, he has really not made it back up here, but maybe we can break toe. I doubt it. Okay, Rivera leads it over the top, but he is now out of energy. So on to Igashin, and again, this is just about thinning things out, and I don't need to waste Igashin at this point. There's a lot of kilometers still to go, 30 of them to be exact. Now, somebody's actually got to go get water, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to push Riabovis to the back. Okay, and now he can go get water. Dang, he nearly stopped to make that happen. We're at 51 riders. Gonzalez-Albiol hanging on, but... Oh, Rivera. Rivera could relax a little bit, you know?
The Peloton has definitely accelerated, meaning that an attack is highly unlikely.
Okay, Riabovis, that's where I want you. Good. Rivera is still here, so Gonzalez-Albiol technically can take up the rear end. And we'll see how long those two can hang on. Also, at some point here, we may see some sort of split that could come because these two at the back struggle, and then all of a sudden a gap opens, right? Coming into that final climb, though, I'd want Igashin for it, but that's okay. Riabovis needs to move back up the order because he's going to take over here momentarily. 13.5K to go now, so much better position on that part. And now it's his turn. Riabovis needs to not stop the entire team. Come on. They ground to a halt, blocking him from going forward. And that takes all the tempo out of his teammates as well. And then Martin Guerrero was right on his wheel and then doesn't follow. That's awesome.
Really hot, so for the moment, we shouldn't see
should have seen it coming. I prepared for it. Tried to. Anyway, just didn't prepare for it fast enough. Okay, these guys are going to get dropped. Oh, poor Maida is way back here just hanging on. Let's put these two on auto as well, as they're about to get dropped. We're about to see this group thin out even further. Igashin already placed to auto, and I have 4 guys to see us over the top.
10 kilometers to the finish line.
Hope Martin Guerrero's hopes and dreams are not gone here. I don't want him to push too hard. I think I need to get Karaman to go in just a moment and see that final little bit. 8K to go.
Fall in the pack.
Okay, let's switch this up. Let's push here and take up the rear. And now we're blocking Berlikov instead, but he makes it through. 7K to go, and we will attack the descent here in just a moment. So we push over the top. 43 riders left. Martin Guerrero just hanging on. If he loses us, though, that means our
5
top
kilometers
2
remaining.
gain a little gap over the chasers, and that would give us a chance at the stage. Down to 40. Ryabovus was
Falling
dropped.
behind. A team leader is falling behind.
More riders off the back, just hanging on to this thing. 1.9k sprint mode. 1.3 Berlikov now attacking for the line, but he's not a great sprinter. He's got the acceleration. He's almost going to get a top 3, but not quite.
He managed the
Again, I
sprint
was
like
saying
a
it wasn't
master
about
of
the
his
stage.
craft.
Tolet,
He was
Deplos,
certainly the
Bovin,
fastest
not worried
today.
about those guys taking it. Berlikov gets 5th on the stage, and a small group of just 38 riders reached the finish line, and Martin Guerrero was still in it, so he does not lose any time. Good result. That's really going to thin the field out on a stage that probably shouldn't have, so that's good. That absolutely did thin the field out with top 38 on the same time. We move up to 16, 17, and 18, so we're still far enough back that we're not a threat in any way, shape, or form, giving us a little bit of free reign to maybe try something on that stage 14, attacking one of those leaders as maybe a good way to go get a stage and pick up a little bit of time. We'll see. It's only stage 8. We've got, or stage 6, that is. We've still got 8 stages to go just to that point, but some of those are going to be flat stages. Ineos, though, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the GC at the moment, thanks to that team time trial in particular, and just a ton of good overall time trialists. Now, out of them, looking at what they have, at least in those 6, you're looking at Sivikov as their likely leader. Let's see. Plus 81 mountain. Dang. When did that happen? Sivikov 80 mountain. Caruso. Just a 76 mountain for 37. Okay. Misnada. Mataway. That is... Oh, Mataway is not with them. But Deplus or Sivikov. So either one of them could potentially be the leaders of that team. So there's only one climbing stage in the first 2 weeks of this tour. And this is it. Stage 7. And this final climb is not something that I would bat much of an eyelash at. It's only 4% average gradient, but it is 17k, so it's not going to be the easiest. Here's the good news as we approach the climb. The pace, ever since the middle part of the stage, never lifted. So, Igashin, Rivera, they're exhausted. The guys who aren't great climbers, they're exhausted. The Peloton's not full strength as we start the climb. Peloton's already down to just over 100, and riders never recovered. I have 6 riders with great legs today. I have 2 plans in place. 1, because they have great legs, I want to make it hard the first half of the climb. 2, I want to attack with one of my 3 leaders, not my overall leader, not Berlikov, but a Martin Guerrero or Karaman. I want them to attack at roughly halfway and then force the other teams to take over, in which case I think we should be able to keep up just fine from that point the rest of the way. Berlikov has a -1, unfortunately, but that shouldn't affect us too much. And as we go to hit the base of the climb, if we're going to do something, I guess now is the time. Gel up for those 2, for one thing. Rivera's already in place. I'm going to have Igashin on his wheel, at least on the initial, and then he'll drop off almost right away. Actually, no, we'll put him straight to the back. He's going to follow Berlikov, who is going to follow Karaman. Martin Guerrero is going to go a little higher up the order. I'm going to follow... do we want to follow Ryabovus or Gonzalez Albiol? That's an 80. That's a 78. Okay, Karaman's going to follow Gonzalez Albiol and Ryabovus, and then we're going to follow Martin Guerrero, who's going to follow Maida. Martin Guerrero is the one I want to attack with when it's his turn. So, Rivera, right to an 85.
There's a breakaway in the leading group.
Wondering if I should save. Okay. We're going to go on to Maida. I'm going to put him behind Ryabovus. He'll attack from either second wheel or I just don't want to expend extra energy. But we begin the climb. Maida already at a 75. Hindley on the attack. This is one reason why we want to do this, right? We don't want to leave this to somebody else to go do exactly what I'm planning on doing. Rivera back down the order. Ikishin way down the order. This group is going to thin out pretty quick. Comes that next attempt. He's going really hard and it's not doing him any good. Okay, we are taking some out of the legs, but we're going up very quickly. 13K to go. Here comes Lopez trying to attack. Lopez still an 82 mountain. Hindley's an 80 mountain. So apparently we're going to be a little more defensive and maybe be able to take something out of these guys because they're being aggressive today. Needlessly so. So maybe this isn't an attack, it's a response. Down to 67. Okay, Maida, speed up a little bit. Let's get Ryabovis ready to go for his turn. Coming up on 10K to go. There you go. They are reeled in. That is 3 contenders that have gone a little too deep, which maybe we can just leave them behind and eliminate those guys for future stages. We still have the opportunity to maybe attack with Martin Guerrero, possibly here in just a moment. Force the others to do the chase, right? That was the idea all along. Hindley trying to attack again. Ryabovis is going to set up. And we're going to follow him. Okay, and here we go. Martin Guerrero. Can you follow Hindley, please?
Watch out! A team leader is falling behind.
Okay, Maida. Go auto. Making the others do the work. Down to 43. And again, making the others do the work as well, as we're going to make Hindley do all the work. Okay, Ryabovis. Step it up a little bit. Gonzalez Albiol, go ahead and gel. 6K to go. That's Is that Lopez? No, it's Carapaz with Movistar on the attack. Martin Guerrero just hanging on.
5 kilometers remaining.
4 riders have gone clear as we go through that little check there. And Karaman and Burlikov are still in good shape for the final bit. Gel up for them. Ryabovis push harder now. Martin Guerrero is clear at the top, but he has not necessarily accomplished anything at this point. Doesn't have much for the end. Okay, Ryabovis is done. Gonzalez Albiol is going to just give us that little push to set up Karaman and Burlikov for the final piece. We'll try to get Martin Guerrero to follow as best he can, but he does potentially run the risk of losing some time at 2.1K. Go harder than that, please. Thank you. Okay, it's back together. Karaman, it's going to go right to the front, and he is going to attack with 1.5K to go. Burlikov. Martin Guerrero is going to follow Burlikov. Burlikov is going to sit up, and Karaman is now going to attack. Okay, Burlikov. Follow Ciccone. Final K. Now it's everybody attack. Karaman, come on, top 3 at least. Ciccone is fading, so Karaman should have second on the stage. Carapaz takes the win. Karaman grabs second. Hindley grabs third. He still had enough left for that, huh? Burlikov on his -1 today wasn't looking terribly great, but he did fine. He was 6th. He still had a little bit left in the tank. And Martin Guerrero right there, so he did not lose any time. And we have just a small group of 22. Gonzalez Albiol was 22nd. Those guys are going to lose a little time. Ryabovis was 23rd. well placed. That's going to move them up the order as well. We're definitely going to move up the order, and this field has thinned out a little bit. But as predicted, this was not going to be a decisive stage. This was a group of riders coming to the finish line together. We'll see what kind of time differences that top 20 is given. I think some riders at the back end of that, maybe Mataway on down roughly, should lose some time. Martin Guerrero was kind of at the back end of the group, actually. So is it going to be 12 to 14 riders on the same time, and then the rest kind of slipping off? We'll see. Top 22 all given same time. So surprising, as Gonzalez Elbial was clearly a good 30 seconds down, but okay, that's fine. That's fine. Like I said, this stage was never expected to amount to much. Ineos down to 4 riders left. De Plus and Sivikov still among them, and Filippo Ganna still leads this race. Holy cow, he hangs onto the jersey for another day. Carapaz moves himself into a stronger position now, 5th place. Mataway, Uran, Balmer will not stick around long, 76 his rating. Uran these days a 77 at 38 years of age. Mataway, I think, all in danger. Carapaz, though, definite threat. Caruso will slip away. Ghana will slip away. So we've got 3 leaders ahead of us to worry about. And then I have the next 3 highest placed riders. That's a good thing. McNulty, I believe, is leading the way there, but only a 77, so he won't be a major threat. In fact, behind us, I don't see any major threats nearby, so that gives me 3 guys to compete against 3 guys to get ourselves into the podium, or maybe compete for more. Let's not jump ahead of ourselves on that part, but I think we're definitely poised for competing for a top 5. Let's start with that, okay? Let's not be overly optimistic. Certainly not pessimistic. I think our chances are good of a good result. Karaman, Martin Guerrero, Berlikov, 20 seconds separating them. There's not much in that. But Karaman looks like he could be the leader at this point. He's already on the fitness peak. However, that's going to fade in the later stages when you have the big climbing stages. Will Berlikov hit a fitness peak before the end, which would give him the edge? And then that time trial part. That's why Karaman could be the leader of this. Martin Guerrero, just not as strong of a climber as those guys. I think he's going to struggle. He will lose time at some point, even though he's the best time trialist. He's only slightly better than Karaman. Karaman is a much better climber. Berlikov's strength as a climber could go a long way towards pulling Karaman up, but we'll see. With those mountain stages, what will happen. There's only one more time trial to go, and Berlikov certainly isn't in bad shape at this point. That's going to do it for this episode, though. We're a third of the way through the Giro. Plenty of minor punchy stages in the next phase before we get into stage 14, the next time we actually really go up. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.